there's this perception that we're in this bubble in Gladstone where everything's going really well and it's a buoyant community, it's a buoyant economic environment. And it is, but it comes with its own different sets of challenges. In my business, the biggest challenge for me is recruiting and retaining staff.
Yeah, we're finding we're a lot busier with fleet sales, which is Hiluxes and work vehicles, and we're seeing a lot more new arrivals to town, whether they're from all over the place as well, from all over the world.
Firstly, the rapid growth has given us a staff shortage problem, and we've had to think about how we can use the number of staff that we've already got to do more, and we've done that by probably outsourcing a lot of things, screens, blinds that we used to make here ourselves. We now get wholesalers to make that for us, so we can just concentrate on the selling and the installation part of it.
In our industry in fabrication, what we find is that there has been some drag across to the major projects, the larger projects, but there hasn't been that big a drag. It's still going to happen, we know that. And so what we need to do is position ourselves now to make sure that we've got the skills in place in order to sustain business moving forward.
The lack of accommodation, the expense of accommodation, and that puts pressures on every family. And what we do, and that makes our company or what we do with property management very emotive. And emotions run very high because local people can see that the rents are very high, they struggle.
When a small and medium business experiences a period of rapid growth, that's when they need our help the most. So from our perspective, it's actually been a very positive time for GTC.
Stat that I had the other day is there's 15% of our advertising revenue now is coming from outside the area. So you're seeing, from a real estate perspective, for example, you're seeing Bundaberg, Rocky, Harvey Bay all wanting to advertise here.
Small to medium members are really struggling with the skilled workforce at the moment, trying to find the right people that are prepared to work at the right wages, but are also wanting that lifestyle, which has obviously been a benefit for them. Accommodation is obviously some issues at the moment that we're all facing, as well as just working together on the opportunities. We're seeing a lot of growth in the region, a lot more companies coming up, so it is starting to be a very competitive market, as it always has been, but even more so at the moment. So
the big talk at the moment is obviously staffing. We're experiencing that same issue in our own business, so our challenge has been to find the right kind of staff with the right skill set to be able to help our clients.
We find at the moment that it's going to be difficult to grow our business simply because of the limited number of staff that we're able to get.
We had to grow so big so quickly was one of the problems. The second problem was that because it's big industry and because it pays very high wages, we have lost several staff to that industry, highly trained, well-trained staff that had to go, and we couldn't match those wages.
And often, small, medium business owners have actually paid for some of that training. They've spent time, their own valuable time, teaching those people some skills, and then they lose the money to have to replace them. And that constant churning of staff puts an enormous amount of pressure on the business.
From an advertising perspective, it's more about you talking to other businesses that are in the same boat as us. We're battling to keep up our customer service levels with the customers we have. We don't really want to increase our customer service, our customer base, because we might not be able to provide that customer service, given that we've got the same impact on staff. So we hear that a bit.
We're struggling to recruit staff. We're struggling to recruit technical staff. We're having to bring in workers from the Philippines.
We knew that there are three constraints to growth of any business. Three main constraints are your working capital, your physical space, if you're working in fabrication as we are, and then obviously people.
One of the biggest concerns I've got with rapid growth is businesses get caught up in that rapid growth and don't really take or monitor closely enough what the financial impact of that rapid growth is.
And they still expect be able to get their car in with us to be serviced the next day, and we just don't have the people to do that.
Basically, winding up to the growth, we've been working on a strategy for about a year, 18 months now. Any SME, larger SME that hasn't positioned themselves has actually probably left it quite late in the process.
Members are starting to realise that whilst they may not be looking at going global, global is in Gladstone, and they need to build their capabilities, they need to build their policies and procedures to be able to meet these expectations so that they are at the forefront of opportunities here in Gladstone.
Restructured it because one of the benefits of being a lot busier is that we can pick and choose a little bit as to the type of work that we want to focus on. And
we've made a specialist property management division which has got its own shop, and we fitted it out so that we can serve business better.
In terms of selling newspapers and selling advertising, it's particularly from a readership perspective, we've got a lot more transient population now, so their home base might be in Brisbane or the Gold Coast or further afield. How do we make the news here, that's the local news, relevant to those people when their local communities further away? So
Very important for small and medium businesses to understand they can be proactive in looking for people with the right skills, and not assuming that just because they've lost a few people that those people are then not replaceable.
we had to source a glazier from Bundaberg, and we've relocated him, and the initial problem of relocating him was finding him accommodation.
How many people can we find here in Gladstone? How do we underpin our local skills with a strong apprenticeship program? And it's finding the right apprentices to put in those slots. Looking interstate, and we've advertised in Brisbane papers, interstate in Victoria. We have an ongoing advert on Seek and careers. And then we've even looked in New Zealand. As a group, we spent, I think it was about $12,000 on advertising in New Zealand, and we got 8 responses. So then we took our search further afield. We have a business sponsorship arrangement with the Department of Immigration. That was the first step, and the second step was obviously going to look for people. And we advertised in Ireland, we advertised in South Africa, and we advertised in the Philippines. Integration is an issue that is being dealt with WIN, with the, what does WIN say?
Welcoming intercultural neighbours.
That is really good in terms of an additional resource that we can tap into in terms of helping people integrate into Gladstone.
Where we can, we employ locally. We've had a protocol, I suppose, of employing junior people that haven't been into the industry before and training them up. And in fact, at the moment, we've got 3 trainees that are going through the system.
A tip is, if you are advertising on careers and Seek, is that you refresh your ad at least once every 2 weeks, because that bubbles it up to the top of the list.
All businesses need to improve the professionalism of their HR management. Absolutely essential. Gone are the days when you don't have a proper induction. Gone are the days when you don't have a proper role description. Gone are the days when you don't have a career development review with your team. All of those things, which we call a staff value program at GTC, all of those things are essential for not only attracting but retaining people in small and medium businesses.
We've had to be a lot more flexible than what we probably have been in the past in terms of shifts for our reporters, looking at salespeople that work 9 till 3 to cope with children, but also some other added benefits. We've come on board with the Urella lifestyle package this year, and I got a real kick out of hearing one of the reporters say to one of my newbies the other day, "Did you know about this? Do you know what working at the Observer, we can get free golf, we can get free movies, we can get free gym." And it was really nice to hear some of the other guys passing that feedback on.
Had to offer a high rate of pay. And within our business, we do offer different incentives to different staff members. I sort of initially went in with the broad brush approach that, okay, we'll get a lifestyle package for everybody. unfortunately not everyone wants a lifestyle package. So what we've had to do is look at each individual person and work out something that suits them. For example, one person just wants a high rate of pay, another person wants flexibility. Long-term employees, the incentive that we use for him is he's a mad keen fisherman. So he's not interested in going to the gym or the movies or anything like that. He wants to go fishing. If the weather's good, he wants to go fishing, and we just work around that, and that makes him very happy. So
make sure that we have got the right environment in which to work. So it's creating an environment that is a pleasant place to work. The other thing is that we do offer the Urella lifestyle package.
I think we just need to hold on, go and run with it, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to participate and compete, and it's difficult, but you know, we've been through periods where business has been terrible, so you know, this is as difficult as it is. You've got to remember that this is much better.
Promote businesses within Gladstone as being a great employers of choice. Small businesses give much more flexibility than big businesses.
If we look at Gladstone Engineering Alliance, the purpose behind the Gladstone Engineering Alliance was originally to form that collaboration in order to take on larger contracts. And if that can be replicated in the likes of the Gladstone Chamber of Commerce, if that can be replicated in some form, it would be an ideal opportunity.
It is also starting to be recognised that we need to work together and we need to get through this, and this is an opportunity for our local companies to be at the forefront of these projects that are going on in this construction.
We're very lucky that we've got this opportunity of this boom that we're having with all these gas companies coming to town and all the other associated industries. What they need to contribute to Gladstone and make sure that it's going to be a lot better place.
Yeah, a small business needs to band together and look at this problem, if you like, and try and make it into a positive.
My philosophy in town here is to look after the locals. We try to get a buy local campaign up. So
As collectively we can lobby the government for assistance, because assistance is available. Often government departments have money available for businesses or organisations like GCCI to be able to claim so they can help their members develop.
I think there's organisations in Gladstone that have been in Gladstone and established quite well. My thoughts are that let's use the organisations and the bodies that are in Gladstone to overcome these problems rather than starting to work in against each other.
people are looking for an advocate for that small to medium sized business. So we've got to congratulate the Chamber on what they're doing. And
I think you've got to get behind the city and speak it up and be positive about it. This is a great city. There's some great opportunities here, and it's a great place to live.